Hi guys, this is Tim Norton. Welcome to cctvdesign.com.au. Today we're looking at a typical camera system in a coffee shop and how it can be improved for around $30 to $60. The floor plan in this video is based on a real coffee shop I frequent, so sit down and enjoy the tutorial. So let's have a quick look around the shop. So as we come up to the front, we walk in through the front doors, head straight over to the counter. We'll order our coffee and then we'll go and take our seat. And you'll notice as we go over towards our seating area, the camera in the top corner, which is just giving us the overview of the general seating area. The layout of this coffee shop is fairly typical of what we see around the place in corner shops and so forth. It's got a 12-metre frontage by a 6-metre depth. We've got an entry door here. This one happens to have a second entry door which isn't used as much. We've got the counter here which has an overhead bulkhead, and as far as cameras, we have one camera here which is giving us an overview of the general seating area, and I believe the customer thought as people walked in they'd be able to tell who they were, but as you'll see in the video you can't. And then we've got a secondary camera up here, and that is looking pretty much directly down onto a cash register. Because of this bulkhead, we can't actually see the face of the person in here. Back behind in this part of the shop, I'm assuming that there is another camera, but it's out of the customer area so we can't definitely tell. And again, making an assumption, I would expect there's a 4-channel DVR and we're only using 2 or 3 cameras on it, so we have a spare input. This is the view from the customer area camera. So what we've got is a coverage up along the windows, with this being the entry door here, the main one, and a secondary one here. And the customers would pretty much walk straight in to the counter, place their order, and then come and take a seat somewhere over here. The 2 core problems I see with this camera is the amount of light that comes in through these windows will cause a lot of saturation if the camera is not of a decent grade, but that's not what we're talking about today. And the fact that up here, the person who we're trying to identify, or if we use the model in the corner, only occupies roughly 10, maybe 15% of the overall scene height. For ID quality, they need to be about 100% from toe to head. You can also see up the back here the other camera, which is the one looking down at the till, but because of the bulkhead, they can't see through to the face. We have the camera that's behind the till, and it's quite obvious its intent. It's to keep an eye on what happens at the till. Probably staff theft is the core problem there. And that's a fairly common thing, and this camera has been set up perfectly for that. Although if the person stood slightly further over you couldn't see the cash transactions, but it is overall quite a good view. The big problem is the face behind here we physically can't see, which is next to useless if we do happen to get robbed, which is quite a probability in this style of shop. The thing we can do here is install additional camera underneath that counter area that looks directly at the customer as they walk in. It'll be nice and low so we can see into their face, and it will give us the full body shot so we get the identification quality we need. So let's take a look at what the image would be like. So this is now the camera after we've added an extra $30 to $60 board camera in behind the counter. It's mounted low enough that we can see clearly into the faces, not down onto the tops of heads. So as the person walks in the door, their head will be approximately here, and they walk through and we get a clear face shot all the way through, and then the other camera that was up in this corner over here gives us an overview of them coming in, and the camera behind the till shows us what's happening at the till. So the beauty of this camera at this height is we've got more than 100% of the overall height of the person filling the scenes, which means we get the ID quality. It's low enough that even if we have a baseball cap on the person, we'll draw a very crude baseball cap here, we're still going to see their face. We don't lose that detail. So the common things that we see in video is camera's too high, we get the baseball cap shot but not the eyes, not the mouth. We've overcome all that. What is still a potential problem if it is literally a $30 camera as opposed to a $500 camera is the backlight coming in through all these doors and windows. At certain times of the day we're going to get so much backlight we won't see this person here. But if we are working on a budget, it's better than what we had before. So thanks for listening, and hopefully that will give you some useful help.